He once said to me, there's no telling where I'd be if I weren't addicted to duck hunting. Needless to say, he lived where he did, and he did what he did because he loved to duck hunt.
He grew up in Corning, Arkansas, small town, tiny town, farm town. All there was to do was hunt. So that's what he grew up doing, that and baseball.
I think he was 13 or 14 the first time he went duck hunting. They went in, it was a really cold morning, so he remembers, back then they had like the rubber waders, it wasn't even neoprene yet, and he was freezing, and they, had a great time, and he was hooked ever since. Our dad was, through and through a tractor salesman. We've had a family-owned business in Corning, Arkansas for 4 generations now. My great-grandfather bought it in 1948. When my dad graduated college, he took that over with. All the land that was what we called Square Shooter Hunting Club was purchased back in the early 70s. It was a farm, and when they bought it back in the 70s, it was covered in timber. And they cut all of that down, farmed it, but soon found out that it was right up along Black River, and so if the river got out, which it always did, you can't really have a crop there. So the front part of that kind of farm was where he did a lot of land management. Early on, we learned that ducks really, really liked the front part of that land. That's when he said, okay, we're never hunting the entire front part, right? So that was kind of always like our reservoir and a place for the ducks to rest. At first, it was just land. And then it was managed land where we could irrigate and flood. It was levied, and then it was a small shop where we could just park the Ranger and change clothes, and then it was a cabin, and then it was a lodge, and you could just see the steam building up because he wanted to be one of these great Arkansas duck clubs. Our family owned and our family managed this land, but he always said, when you have too many people coming into the industry that are takers, you have to have givers. Nobody gets to hunt if you have too many takers. He wanted to make sure that we understood the importance of that. He was heavily involved in Ducks Unlimited in Northeast Arkansas. I remember being a kid, and he would essentially kind of plan the whole thing. They would have the auction, they would have the dinners, he would get everything coordinated. And he always donated a hunt to like the NEA Duck Classic in Jonesboro. He may not have managed the most land, he may not have donated the most money or given the most effort, but if you're measuring this by the amount of passion he had, then he's first in line. Looking at the other names on the list, I don't think that he wouldn't think that he was deserving, right? That's how he was, but we all know he is, so that's easy.
He was never stingy about whoever wanted to hunt. If you want to go, come on, no big deal. He did it for camaraderie, not for bragging rights, not for personal gain. He knew that it was a way to get our family together, out of the house, all outdoors together. Whether it was 6 of us or 15 of us, he enjoyed talking, just seeing everybody all together in one place. He wrote a list of, I think it's 27 things that he would give to his employees. And the last 3 things on the list are learn from the past, live in the present, plan for the future. I hope I can be just half the father that he was.